I will be talking on the syncretistic images of one of the important temples of Maharashtra, and also would like to share some questions with the August gathering of the scholars. As we know, the iconographic and iconological studies of the syncretistic images has been discussed by the scholars for a long time. Deepak Kumar Bhattacharya's seminal work on the iconology of composite deities has opened a new chapter to understand socio-religious setting of ancient India. His work discusses or aims to discuss the various factors which played a vital role to bring about these changes in the contemporary settings. Or it also helps to understand politics of the religious transformation in early medieval India in different parts of the country. Shantilal Nagar has further made an attempt to understand the significance of composite deities, and his studies is mostly based on iconographic features. Dr. Pramod Dandavate's unpublished doctoral dissertation on the cultural study of Brahminical syncretistic images is a further attempt to understand the relationship between text and image. And recently, Professor Doddsmoth Srinivasan's seminal contribution to understand multiple dimensions of the syncretism in ancient India. Not only iconological or iconographical, but she has addressed the philosophical discourses to understand the process of syncretism. The present paper is an attempt to understand the relationship between the text and image. And it has been always believed that probably in early medieval India, especially in early medieval Deccan, when attempts have been made to understand the religious imagery, few of the areas are still require further investigations. That's the temple site which has been selected and subsequently is going to describe in brief. That is the Kopeshwar temple at Khidrapur has been intentionally selected to understand not only the issue of religious imagery in some regions or the some pockets of the Western Deccan, but as has been thought that most of the temples display the images according to the textual tradition. But as The studies at macro level have been done. When we come to the studies of religious imagery at micro level, in such case, we able to unearth either unknown or less known facets of religio-cultural settings. Also, when we discuss with special reference to Western Deccan, the studies are also required to understand the process of the syncretism in the Western Deccan. Such studies have been done especially in the regions of Eastern India or in the region of Central or Kashmir, either with special reference to a specific image like the icons of the Vaikuntha, or the studies by Dr. Prita Nair, especially in the peninsular India, in South India, with reference to the different icons, or Dr. Kalidas' study on the early medieval imagery of South India. Probably such studies with special reference to a particular syncretistic icon are wanting in the region of the Western Deccan. The architectural heritage of the Western Deccan is rich in visual imagery and provides a treasure to understand the emergence, development, and dissemination of religious imagery of major religious traditions such as Hinduism, Jainism, and Buddhism. I will not go in the details of the formation process and its a further dissemination, but the caves at Elephanta, Ellora, Kharosa, structural temples at Ambarnath, Pedgaon, Onda Nagnath provide ample evidence to understand the presence and dissemination of the syncretistic images. And this is a very interesting image from the Lakshmi Narayan Pedgaon temple at Pedgaon, which has been earlier wrongly identified as a image of Harihara Arka. But the recent studies have shown this image is not of Harihara Arka, but it is an image of Harihara Pitamaha Arka, the one of the popular syncretistic icon in early medieval India, especially in the regions of Vidarbha, Western Maharashtra, and Central India. Kopeshwar temple at Khidrapur is one of the elegant temples of Maharashtra, representing Bhumija style. The style of temple architecture, which was prospered during the Shilahar and Yadav periods in Maharashtra, and this style, the temples of this style in the land of Maharashtra shows the various stages of development of Bhumija temple architecture. Although this temple has been studied earlier by scholars such as A.V. Naik and Dr. G.B. Deglurkar and others, but recent studies of this temple carried out by Gopal Joge, Shantanu Vaidya, and the presenter have thrown light to understand not only the new icons, but also to understand the various processes in the which have been involved in the making of this temple. The Navagrahas, probably this temple is the only temple in Maharashtra or in the region of Deccan, I would like to say rather, which has provided an example of independent images of Navagrahas. As well as it also provides an important evidence of the less known Vaishnava images of Dhanvantari on its exterior. Probably this is among few temples of the Deccan whose Adhistan and the middle part of the Jangha and also the top portion of the Jangha is highly ornate with the religious imagery. The temple stands on the Gajathara, another salient feature of this temple, and provides an important evidence to understand not only the iconography of the early medieval Deccan, but also to understand the religio-cultural setting of early medieval Deccan. The Gajathara, the Adhisthana of this temple, depicts a well ornate Gajathara, probably the again only example in the region of Western Maharashtra, and the deities are shown seated in a different asanas on the elephants. The middle part of the Jangha and also the top part of the Jangha is also highly ornate, depicting the religious imagery of the different deities as well as secular imagery such as of the rishis, sages, surasundaris, musicians. The present discussion aims to address few questions to understand the iconographic depiction of some of the syncretistic images and also aims to understand why this particular temple is rich in showing such types of icons. So the first image is of Harihara, and we find that when we look at the textual description, probably as we know that the images not only unearth the religious settings, the iconological process, but also the contemporary political settings. The images of the association of the images, royal dynasties or royalty, the notion of the royalty, the patronage have been discussed by various scholars and is an important theme to understand the making of the religious imagery. So what is important to see here that one of the prevalent images of composite imagery or syncretistic imagery is basically the union of two important deities, that is Vishnu and Shiva. not always the images display the features according to the text. And here we find that probably in some of the images where we find the two distinct parts, one is showing of Vishnu, one is showing of Shiva. From their mukutas till the depiction of the two Vahanas. Even it is not the case that there is not enough space to accommodate the Vahanas. But that is interesting, probably in many cases, in most of the images which are showing on the elephants, which probably could be meant to give a royal status or to establish the notion of the royalty with the deities, interestingly, the Vahanas are upside. So here the deities is shown holding Trishura and Akshamara in the upper and lower right hands, representing the god Shiva, whereas the Gada and Chakra in the upper and lower left hands, representing Vishnu. When we look at the another image of Harihara, which is a distinct from the first image, and only because of the presence of Naga in the lower right hand of the deity, this image has been identified of Harihara. Whereas the upper and lower hands of the deities hold the Gada and Chakra respectively, whereas the upper left hand, which has not been survived, so the Ayudha which held in this hand is not available, and also even the part of the hand is not survived, so it is not possible to guess about the Ayudha. This image has been identified as of Surya Narayan because of the possibility of two Sanal Kamal or the two lotuses held in the upper right and left hands. The possibility of holding Sanal Kamals is based on basically the available or the preserved lower parts, but still the question mark has been put as this could be the tentative possibility, whereas the lower right hand and left hand are shown holding Gada and Shankha respectively. This is a very interesting image. As the images of Surya Brahma are comparatively rare, and this temple provides a different kinds of the lotus flowers. So the image is shown with three heads. The upper right and left hands are shown holding the Ayudhas, which could be the Sanar Kamals, whereas the lower right hand is shown holding Akshamara, whereas the Ayudha is partially preserved. The question comes, this image of Surya Brahma is comparatively different from the images of Surya Brahma. My colleague Dr. Shantanu Vaidya has thrown much light on the textual tradition of Surya Brahma images and a few of the recently noticed Surya Brahma images by him. And in the Surya Brahma image, the part of the Surya seems to be more prevalent or dominating, but this image seems to be very interesting and also quite different, where we find that the aspect of God Brahma is more prevalent than the god Surya. So could this image is of Brahma Surya? Again question mark. And at least I have been searching the textual evidence wherein the particular form of Surya Brahma image has been described, and yet I have not found any reference. But if any of the text is existed, so again one has to see most probably in the region of the Deccan or southern India, because as we know that the Kopeshwar temple at Khidrapur is much influenced by the imagery of the Kalyani Chalukyas and Hoysalas, also the visual imagery of the South India as such. So also, at least I have not able to find any parallel in the important Hoysala monuments which I have been to, as well as also the Kalyani Chalukyan temples. If that is the case, then probably the artist, beyond the textual tradition, made an attempt to create or carried out a new experiment to give rise to a unique image. The further investigations are required, the further textual study as well as extensive fieldworks and visits to the temple sites are also required to find out parallels, to understand more about less known facets of the syncretism. There are many more images on the Kopeshwar temple. Our studies to understand the different facets of this temple is going on, and this is a preliminary attempt to share how at least few temples provide an important evidence wherein there was some space for the local artisans to express their thoughts, to carry out the new experiment, composite images or syncretistic images could be. So beyond text, at least this temple provides some interesting examples, no doubt. An encyclopedic work titled Chaturvarga Chintamani by Hemadri, then the Prime Minister of the Yadavas, is one of the important texts which has influenced the religious imagery of this temple besides the other Shilpa Shastras. Besides the understanding the religious imagery of early medieval Western Deccan, this temple also provides an important evidence to understand the process, the formation process of the syncretism in the Western Deccan. And some of the images, some of the syncretistic images are unique or different, not showing the traditional iconographic features which need further investigation.